Hello, everyone. If you're out there, say hello. I want to make sure we're connected. Before we get started, it looks like we have Jamie on here. I'm just looking down at who's coming on. We're going to start our scrapbooking workshop here in just a minute. I'm coming to you from sunny Washington. Yep, it's sunny here today. It's beautiful. So anyone else, let me know if you can hear me. Okay. I think we've hit almost 3 o'clock, which was the time I promised to start. I wanted to make you all aware that I am having internet issues and we don't know why. We've checked with our provider. I've plugged everything in and taken it back out again. But just in case I lose you, I will still keep recording this video and we will have it back to you a little later today. But I am going to jump through this whole workshop. So first I'm going to turn my camera around and explain a few things, and I'll be right back with you. Let's see what I can do over here. There we go. So now we're down at my catalog, which is the annual catalog for this year. And I must say, this is one of my favorite workshops because we do a lot of traveling. So I thought this would just be the perfect scrapbook workshop to start with. So we are on page 19 of the annual catalog. And it's called Weekend Adventures. And the workshop lets you complete all 3 sets of pages. So in other words, you have a total of 6 pages, 2 12-inch pages for each design. I'm going to go ahead and make the workshop just like it is, like the company calls for, so I can show you how to use these instructions that the workshops come from. I realize a lot of you are new to the scrapbooking scene over at Stampin' Up, so I want to make sure that you all understand how easy they make it for the company and how affordable it is, because you end up with quite a bit of product after the fact. So let me get started on this. I have not opened up this kit. This is the way they come. So I'm going to open it up with you here on screen. Maybe. And pull out everything you have. These are good to save. They're like a Ziploc bag. So if you're in the middle of a project and you have to put it aside for a few minutes or go out and do something, these are great bags to have. So these are the instructions that come with every one of our workshops. Here it shows you the 3 pages, that 3 2-page layouts that you'll create. Let me grab my glasses so I can see this better. These are materials in addition you may need. So in other words, it just tells you linen thread. See if I can put this up closer. You're going to need some Stampin' Seal, which is just double-sided rolling tape, Stampin' Dimensionals, which are foam dots, and your paper trimmer. Down at the bottom here, it's going to tell you exactly how many photos you need, the sizes of them, and if they're portrait or landscape. So that's a good thing to have all your pictures together if you'd like, or in the kit, they give you picture holders. It kind of holds the spot for your photos until you're ready to use them. Okay, and we'll get to all these, but for right now, I wanted to go through the kit and show you what you have. So you have 2 of these, and these I thought, this paper right here, when we have some left over, is going to be great for some Halloween cards or Halloween scrapbook pages. Here we have tree paper. Hopefully you can see that close up. And these are little tiny acorns back there. This looks like a starry sky. I could see this also in using this in ocean or pool pictures. And here, let's see, turn it the right way. These are little footsteps. It looks like bear prints, a compass, and there's a little bit of distressing on here. It's very hard, I'm sure, to see it on screen, but it looks like almost a wood texture in the background with some white splattering on there. Now, there are always a couple papers that are exclusive to the workshops, this being one of them, and you'll know that they're exclusive because they don't have anything on the background. So you have a one-sided paper there. Here you have like an off-white wood grain, and again, nothing on the back side. So those are your papers. These are your punch outs, or I mean, you could use all kinds of terms for these. These could be your ephemera. These could be your die cuts. So anyways, those are them, and they punch out really easy. And there are 2 sheets of them. And then you have some plain cardstock. You have a very vanilla, it looks like that's the color. I think it's basic gray on this. Don't hold me to it for this paper. And a blue, I'm forgetting the name of this one. This one looks like Old Olive. Then you have a sticker sheet. Lots of stickers on here. It'll be interesting to see how many we have left over on this once we complete it. These are your picture holders. So they are printed, obviously, with the size on them. And you can use these horizontally or vertically. So if you have a vertical or a landscape shot, you can just put it in this way. So they give you as many pictures as they call for in these designs. So hang on to these. And if you don't use these, say you have your pictures already printed and ready to go, a lot of people use these as mats and just cut their picture a little bit smaller. So these are good things to hang on to even if you don't use them. Then there's this, which just tells you, you know, what kit it is and what colors are in the kit. If you're unfamiliar with Stampin' Up, the paper colors are right here, which makes it easy. And I always hang on to this until I'm done with the kit, because if you have to put it away, it helps to keep everything tidy. So what we're gonna do first, and hopefully we'll have, I'm waiting for one particular person to join us. Hopefully she'll come in. We're gonna punch out these items, just a couple of them. And then the other ones I'll kind of do when we get to that page, because I think a lot of people don't realize how easy these are to use. And let me show you a secret. Let's see, I'll get you a big piece. On the back here, each one has a note as to what project they are for. So what I would encourage you to do is when you're punching these out is to put them in a pile of project 1, project 2, project 3, just so it's easy. All right. Couple more I'll do here. Make sure I'm on screen, which I'm usually guilty of not being on screen because I get going and I'm not paying attention. So look how cute that is, that little wood sliver piece. You have some journaling spots. Here's another one. And project 2. So I'll leave that as that is. And then here are the stickers. These obviously don't have project names on them or numbers. So you'll just, you know, pick them out as needed and shown in the directions. So I'm going to put those aside for a minute. I'm going to put these punch outs to the side. Make sure I don't lose any of the little, you know, in fact, I'm going to get out one of my trays. Just a minute. Got my back to the microphone, I'm sorry. Here we go. Love to use these when we've got a lot of tiny pieces. I get these from Spellbinders. I'll put a link to it down below if you'd like to check these out. They also come with little tiny lids, so when I'm working with a project, I like to use these. Okay, so we're gonna start cutting some papers. So if you turn to the first page, there's a pair of little scissors here, and this will show you the orientation of the paper. So it tells you, or obviously there's a picture of what paper you're using, and as you look to the right here, the back of the paper, they want the stripes going horizontally. Okay, so let's pull out that piece of paper. I have my cutting tool here. And the first cut they're calling for is 6 by 11. I want to make sure my stripes here are going the right direction. So they're going horizontally, or landscape as they like to call it, and we're doing a 6 by 11 cut. Okay, so 6, and then we're going to take off an inch here because these papers are all 12 inches. Okay, and this is scraps, so stick that someplace where you know you can have it in case you want it for a card or whatever. This next cut is going to be 4.5. Let me make sure we're still horizontal. 4.5. And again, it's going to be 11 inches. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is, as I go, I like to mark the pieces. So on here, you'll see it says 1A, 1E. So you're going to write that. I flip it over so we know we're going to use, this is the back, and I'm going to write, the second piece we cut is 1E. And this one is 1A. Okay, so I've done that. So these are both number 1, so we'll keep that over there. Then we're going to pull out another piece, and the front of it is the black. So what we're going to do here, hopefully you can see this, I want to show you so we know what we're doing. So now this is calling for the front, so you're going to, cut the paper from the front, and this is going to be, here are the cuts. We've got 1/2 by 11, 1/2 by 11, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. And then the rest of this is actually going to be for your scrap pile. So you have a large portion to use. So we are going to do 1/2. And I think it's 1/2, what do we say? 1/2 by 11. So we need to take off 1 inch. Got that. And this one is going to be 1B. Okay. And our next cut is the same cut. We're keeping this, something stuck to me over here. 1/2. You keep the directions out where I can see them myself. 1/2. When you start a project like this, just remember too, on your blade, you want to make sure you have a nice fresh blade in there for cutting. Okay, we're taking off 1 inch. We'll put that to the scrap bin. And this one is going to be 1F. So we'll put that in this pile over here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're cutting 2 1 by 3s, and we're keeping this horizontal. So I'm going to cut all the way down, even though we don't need that here, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. So we're right here. So let's cut this. And then I'm going to turn it to the side, and I'm going to cut 2 3-inch pieces. 1, 2. Okay. And that's 3H and 3M. Okay. And these are scraps. And our next piece of paper is going to be our little tree paper. And I'm reaching for it right now. Bear with me. It's this one right here. And on the back of it, you have your little acorns. And this one, it looks like we're gonna have to look real closely. So it looks like the trees are going horizontal. So in other words, they're not standing straight up. We're turning the paper 1/4 of a turn. So this is the way it's going to want to go. So you can see the trees kind of, and arrows, I think they're arrows or trees pointing to the left. So on this cut, we are going to do 2A, or excuse me, 2A, 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 is right there. Cut that, and this piece they want to be 11 inches. Done. And let me see, the number on this is 2A. So I put these always on the back, obviously, so we don't see them. And this is our first piece of paper for 2. So in other words, stack number 2. And now we're going to go with 8 inches. I think I just did that wrong, you guys. It's wanting 8 inches this way. Hopefully I did not mess that up. Okay, 8 inches by 3 1/4. Good, I saved it. Yay! All right, and on this one, we want this to be 2B. And I believe then this is gonna be our leftover. So we'll put this in the leftover pile. Look at all this you have leftover, guys. Okay, next tree paper is going to be the same orientation. So our trees are going to be pointing to the left. And we are going to be at 11 inches. By 12. So we only have one cut there. And this paper is 2E. All right. Put that in the number 2 pile. Let me see if I can find a better place for 2. Okay. This one, we're gonna cut 4 3-inch pieces. So there's 1, 2, 3, and this should be 4 or 3 inches also. Yep. So on these pieces, what it's calling for, I'm going to flip these all over. We're going to be 3P, 3F, 3D, and 3B. Okay. So put those aside. We need to start a new pile for option number 3. Let me see what I can come up with. I'm over here trying to move a few things. Okay, so that's 3. Now we're going to go with our Starry Sky paper. And on this, what you want to do is pay attention. The front is the blue, which is what they want you to cut on. But on the back, you want to make sure that the footprints here are facing up. So we need to really make sure that. So these footprints right here, they need to be facing up. So we're going to flip that over. And now we're going to do 1-inch cut again. And here we're going to do, again, 4 pieces that are 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're going to flip these over and write what they are for. So this one is 3C, 3G, 3, it looks like Q, yep, 3Q, and this one is 3, whoops, I may need to cut another piece of that I wrote on the front. We'll see how it goes. 3E. Okay, all number 3s. Then we are going to cut a piece that's 9 inches, and I'm going to keep the feet pointing up. Nine inches by 10 inches. And this one is 2F. If I'm going too fast for anyone, let me know, okay? So 2F, we've got our 2s going over here. Yep. And then on this piece, we're going to do 1 inch by 10 inches. Making sure, again, our feet are pointing up. 1 inch. And by 10 inches. All right, and this one is 2C. All right, we've got all of this left over. I may need that because of the error I made. How are we all doing out there? You doing okay? Sometimes I know when we go through these cutting things, you know, it's a little overwhelming, but hopefully if you have your kit in front of you, you're able to follow that along. So let's keep going. Okay, our next one is a little tricky. And if you were to have a T-ruler, what it's calling for is to cut this straight across like this. And you want to make sure your feet are going the right direction. So in other words, we want them up facing that way. Your blue this time is the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut all the way across here. So to do that, our cutters, is that our correct English word? Our cutting apparatus. Only, you can't turn it sideways to do this. So what I often do, we'll do a T-ruler and do this. So I put this here and I line that up with that. So I'm lining it up at this point and this point, and then I'll draw a line and I'll cut that. But I know a lot of people don't have these tools. So what I'm gonna do is very carefully, I'm gonna take this corner, bring it over here, and before you push all the way down, make sure everything's lined up really perfectly. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna start creasing. And then I'm gonna turn it over and crease the same way again, or the opposite way. Just get a nice line for cutting because I'm gonna hand cut this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out my good scissors. Actually, you know what? They get in the way in the video, so I'm gonna use my smaller ones with this. So you should, if you can see that on screen, I have a pretty good crease mark and I feel happy with that. So just take your time, cut through here. How many of you have gone on a vacation this summer? I would love to know where you went. I hope you're over at my Facebook group posting your pictures of your trips and letting us know how you're recording those in your scrapbooks or your pictures. All right, that is done. So this piece is the one that we're gonna keep, and this is the front. Put this in our scraps, the other piece. And this piece is going to be 3K. And bear with me, I've got my back turned to you into my stacks. And we'll move on. We're almost done. So now we're going to do our solid papers. And this can be a little tricky, especially if you're not used to what used to be close to my heart papers. So I'll show you what you need to be aware of. So we are going to start with our very vanilla cardstock. Putting some of this aside. Okay. So recently Stampin' Up! Started carrying our two-tone paper, which is really nice. We love the quality of this paper too. So, you know what? There were supposed to be two very vanillas. Just a minute. Huh. Actually, there's 3. Oh, there they are. I just overlooked it. Okay. My fault. Put them on the top here so they're ready to go. So if you're new to the company, what you want to make sure to look for is the two-tone paper is just like it says. There are 2 different sides to it. So you want to flip this over and kind of look at it like this. Obviously, this is, when you're in person, it's easier to see too. This is the light and this is the dark. So on your directions, it tells you exactly what they're wanting from you. So your dark side right here, it says, is going to be you cut it on that side. So let's get this out. And the first cut it's calling for is 4 1/4 on 3 different pieces. So right here you have your cutting line, and we're going to cut all the way down like that. So 4 1/4. And all of these going to be 3 1/4. Trying to find my line there. They're all going to be 3 1/4 in width, or I guess it could be the other way around if you want to look at it from tall to short or short to tall. So 3 1/4. Okay, I want to make sure they're all the same. They are. So here are all of our dark sides. So be very careful. These are your light sides. So flip them over. And on the back, we're going to write what numbers they go to. So this is 1G. This is 1H. And this is 1L. So these are all number 1 stack. Okay, then we're coming back into the same piece. We're going on the dark side, so make sure you're on the dark side. We're going to go to 6 1/2. 6 1/4, pardon me. 6 1/4. Give that a cut. And then we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. Okay. So I'm going to flip these over on the light side, and one is going to be 1C, and the other one is going to be 1D. And they go in your number 1 stack. The rest of this, these are scraps. Then we're going to take this one, and again, let's see, very vanilla. The dark side is the top. So this is a light dark, so we'll cut on this side, and we're going to cut 4 1/4 all the way down. Okay, 4 1/4. Then our next cut is 3 1/4. And I've got my paper over my directions. 3 1/4, then we're doing another 3 1/4. And oops, I just made an error. Okay, so let's go back to the drawing board. Let's do 4 1/4. If I don't have any more of this, if I run out, I will pick up some from my stock here. So 4 1/4 all the way down. Then we're going to do 3 1/4. And then this piece stays as it is. So this will be 8 1/2 is what this should look like. Nope, there's a little bit left on it actually. A hair of a piece on the bottom. Okay, so one of these is actually extra then. And this one is going to be 2G. And this one on the light side, we're going to do 3L. So they go to my stacks. And then this one, I'm not going to be able to cut from. So I'm going to see what I can do with my scraps. I think I could take some off of my next one. So I'm gonna try that and see what we come up with. So we have 4 1/4. Oops. Got a little too anxious there. Okay. 4 1/4, and then all of these are going to be 3 1/4. 1. And you know what? That extra piece that I put back here in the scraps, I think I cut it to the right size. So I'll use this out of my scraps just to save some paper. So we have to make sure they're all the same size. One is not, so let's do 3 1/4. Okay. So just to confirm, because I kind of confused you, these are the cuts we're on right now. So the things I'm going to put, which pile they go into is right here. So we have a 2H, 2L, and 2J. So I'm going to flip these over to the light side. And we're going to be 2H, 2L, and 2J. Okay, they go in stack number 2. All right, so now we're going to piece this together a little. The first cut is going to be 5 by 7. Let's see if I have enough here. I don't. So I don't think that's right. No. So, I'm gonna have to pull out one piece, but right now we're gonna cut a 5 by 7, and I'm gonna make sure we're on the dark side according to down here. So it's 5 by 7. And this piece here is 3L. Actually, you know what? That's I. 3I. I'm over here just writing it down. I think I've mistaken the, just so you don't make the same error I did, this 3 and this letter right here is supposed to be, I believe, I and not L. Okay? Then this piece right here, I believe I'm going to have to pull out some paper from my stash. So give me just a minute and I'll pull out my file of paper. These are how I keep all my plain color stocks. And I also, in the front of each envelope, I keep all of my offcuts. So we'll pull that out. And this is a little tricky cut too. Actually, I have 2 pieces here. Hold on. What's going to happen with this one is they want you to do a diagonal cut. So you're going to come up on the top by 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 is right there. And I'm going to get out my pencil and try and hold my spot on the paper and do 2 things at once. It's not coming out. Hold on. There we go. So let me move this up just a little. I'm going to make a mark there, and then we're going to come down and we're going to come in 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 is right here. 2 1/4 is here, but on this particular ruler, the 0 mark comes in here. So I need to redo this. Learn from me, right? Okay, so the top one was 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 should be right there. And then my mark, instead of being out here, trying to understand this ruler easier. So our half mark is here, so it's right there. It comes in 2. Okay, so our cut mark will be here. So now I'm going to take my ruler, line it up with both of the points that I've made. And draw myself a line. Okay. It's very faint, but I can see that. I probably can't see it on screen, but I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Just we're on the dark side. Okay, so I'll put this in my scraps. This will be, first of all, let's take, if we can, if we have any pencil marks, let's take those off. And then on the opposite side, we're gonna write 3A. And put that in our 3 stack. And then we have 2 more pieces to cut. We're going to deal with the blue, which is Misty Moonlight. And on this one, we're going to cut on the dark side. And this is the dark side. We're going to cut 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. It looks to me like these are all going to be picture frames because of the sizes. Usually they cut them like 1/4 of an inch wider than the photo. Traditionally, not always. So this one, I'm going to flip it over and write 2D. You know what? That could look like a 2O, so let me emphasize that. Okay. So again, these are going to go, let's see what color the other one is. Yeah, this is green. So we're going to put this aside in our scraps. And we're going to pull out our old olive, it looks like. Yeah. What is the light and what is the dark? This is the dark. We're going to cut first 4 1/4. 4 1/4. And the next one, is going to be 4 1/4. And that I did something incorrectly. 4 1/4. That is correct. We're supposed to do 6 1/4. So I'm going to recut. The good thing they give you extra paper. So we're going to do another 6 1/4. We're going to do that cut first. And 4 1/4. And so the next one is going to be 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So those are those 3 pieces that we need from that piece of paper. And the small one is, flip it over, and it's going to be 3 0 or O. And the next one is going to be 3J. And the next one's going to be 3N. Okay? So we have all of our cuts made. So let's start putting it together. Put my cutting apparatus away. And I'm going to pull out my Versamats. And while I do that, what I wanted to share with all of you is that I have been hunting high and low for something that could compare to our mats that we have close to my heart. These were called Versamats. We all love them because they help keep things straight. Let me pull this out a little. Bear with me. Okay, see if I can get this straightened up for you. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think that's somewhat straight. I'll pull this over a little. Okay, I have been hunting high and low. Let's go back to this subject for something that I could refer to all of you because these kind of are priceless to me in my craft room. So I ordered this on a whim because I thought, oh, it's Cricut. It's going to be sticky, you know, when you run it through your Cricut machine for those of us who have Cricut. It is not. So these are perfect. The only difference in these are that there are, what was I going to say? There's no foam on the back. We used to use these for stamping. So when you stamp, sometimes when you've got foam, it helps the stamp come out clearer, or, you know, you run less mistakes, I guess. These do not have that, but in Stampin' Up! World, they do have a little piece of foam you can stamp on. Or for those of us who are close to my heart, every stamp set used to come with a piece of foam, so you can use those. So I will definitely link these below, and I mean, they are slightly bigger. They have great numbers on the side of them. I love that. You have your horizontal lines, your vertical lines, so you can line everything up. There is a hook in it. Hopefully you can see that right there. So you can hang these up. I will probably hang this up with my Cricut material. So definitely pick these up. They're from Amazon. This is where I got this one, and I love it. So I'm glad that I can now have something to offer you all. So let's get started. So we're going back to our next page, and we're going to work on section number 1. We're going to do the left page first. So we're going to pull out everything that has number 1 to it. So we're going to use, it's telling us to adhere photos, which we don't have yet, right? So we're doing 1C, which is this one. We're doing 1D, which is this one, 1G, this one, and 1H. So it should be N1I, which is, I put L, but it's I. So we have a total of 3. So I am going to take our photo placeholders, and I'm very carefully, and I dropped my tape earlier. Hold on, guys. Here it is. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm back. I should check in first. How are we all doing? You okay? If you're watching this later in the recordings, please just let me, you know, if you're okay, if you have questions, drop those down. I will always get back to you, always. So let's keep going. Okay, back down to my desk. So we are going to take these and add these to each of these spots once we turn them over. Remember, where we've written, that's the opposite side. So we'll flip these all over. And I am just going to put one little tiny piece of double-sided tape there to hold it in place, because I will probably put my picture right over that soon. So I'm just going to put one little piece there. If you want to, again, you can put these down and use these as mats to your picture. So just try and put him here as evenly as you can. Do another 3x4. I like that they print on these photo holders what size you need, so there's no questions and it makes it easier. All right, and then we have our 4x6s it should be. So that'll go there, that'll go there. Okay, there, and there, okay. So now I'm going to, and it wants me to cut a 12-inch piece of linen thread and tie it in a bow. So I'm wondering where they're putting this. So I'm going to cut off a 12-inch piece and you can guesstimate for sure. I think I'm going to use the green that I have, and this is from the Natural Tones linen thread. I don't think this is available anymore, but there are other linen threads you can use. So, and I like to double things up quite often. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are 12 inches. And we'll see what we do with that later, okay? Now we're going to put these aside, and it's telling us to bring in the light grain background. I'm over here pulling it out. You know what, since we're only working on one page right now, I'm going to take out one pardon me, one Versamat. And when we want to look at the pages together and they're done, then we will pull that back in just so you can see better. Goodness gracious, guys, make sure we're straight. Okay, so, and we want this pattern to be going vertically. And when I'm working with my Versamats, a lot of times what I'll do is a little trick. I take out my mini glue dots, and it's very hard to see on screen, but I don't know if you can see that or not for the blurry. You can see that little dot. I'll put it in 2 corners on my mat to keep my page straight. And these come off really easily when you're done, so don't worry about that. Okay, so hopefully that'll keep that in check while we finish the rest of this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to adhere 1A and 1B to these pages. So we're going to do, this is 1A, this is E. So now where are, gotta find our other one, 1A and 1B. I may have cut a wrong piece. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's see, it looks like it is the blue paper. This is why we do it together, right? We learn from each other. It really does look, oh, 1B is the black stripe, so we do have it. So, oh my goodness, this doesn't look like it cut very well. Let's clean this up. So on this paper, what we're gonna do is we're using it on the plaid side. Doesn't that look like a nice flannel shirt? And we're using the black. So I wanna know where they are. Bear with me, I'm reading these directions. So adhere 1A and 1B to the base page, and it tells you on here approximately how far they want it to come over. So it looks like it's dead center on here. So what we'll do is we'll put this one down. So I just want to make sure there's 2 lines right here. Hopefully all this wood paper is the same and it goes right there. So let's tape this up. And you have your 6-inch mark there. So I'm going to try and find the center. And on the bottom and the top, it's wanting you to leave about a 1/2 inch. Okay, I think I'm good there. Looks like there's a little bit more on the bottom. Let's level that up a little bit more. Okay. Then we have this piece, which should be 1B. I'm just going to check again. Yes. And I'm going to overlap this just a little. It doesn't say to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. So I shouldn't be doing this over my piece of paper here in case I get tape on it. And obviously the lines on this paper are going to be going horizontal, obviously. Okay. Now we are going to adhere prepared 1C and 1D. 1C, 1D. And these are going to be horizontal according to this. So we are going to, what I'm concerned with is this blue piece of paper that's there. Just a minute. I'm wondering. I'm pulling out my stickers. It's not there. Okay, this they want to come in 3 inches from the side. So 1, 2, 3. And coming down like that. Let me put this way just so it looks better. And we've got about a 1/2 inch in between both of these. So let's do, I'm just centering it up on this piece of paper, on the plaid. Looks like this needs to come up just a little bit higher. What's nice is I'm following the lines of that plaid. This feels like it needs more tape for sure. Okay, so there's that page. And now it says embellish with die cuts and stickers as shown using Stampin' Dimensionals on some of the pieces, and then add your journaling. So we're still gonna, we're gonna find some of our punch outs here. And it's calling for 2 of our arrows, if I can get it. Oh my goodness, I need my pickup tool. So 1, and again, it has our project numbers on them. So we could have separated these. I just didn't want to take the time on camera to punch them all out. But so this is P1, P1. Then we have project. Maybe I can put them here in my container. Then they won't get mixed up. 3, 3, 3. Project 1, project 1, project 1, 2, 3, excuse me, 3, project 1, 2, looks like we're gonna have to do it anyways, right? Project 2, and project 3. Let's go back to our punch outs. Over here in my stack. as I knock everything off. Okay, so you guys should talk to me while I'm doing this. Project 3. We just got done doing all the landscaping in our backyard. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the electricians were here today. That was the last of the people coming through our backyard. There's been people here all week long and last week, short part of last week. So it's kind of nice to have that behind us. Now I'm waiting for some furniture to show up for a new patio we had done. And then it'll be time to chill outside. It's what we've learned in Washington when we live here, obviously, that when it's sunny, everyone wants to be outside because, pardon me, our days are limited. So we wanted to make it as comfortable as we could to be outside. So project 2. Here's that piece I was missing for project 1. Right here. It's like the little tab piece. So there's that. Maybe next time I'll have these punched out. What do you guys think? Project 1. Project 1. We're almost there. Project 2. Project 1. See if I can do this any faster. Project 1, project 3, project 2. Project 2, which is a big piece. Project 2, another big piece. Project 3. One, 2. Sorry, this part's boring, isn't it? If you have any questions, now's the time to ask, right? And project 1. Project 1. Project 2. Project 2. Project, did I just do this wrong? Project 3, this is 2, 3. Okay, project 3. Getting stuck over here on my scissors. Project 3 and project 3. Project 1. It'll be fun to recreate this kit kind of the way that I want to do it. So I have a couple kits I'm going to be trying that on. And then what I'll do when I do those on an online class, I'll bring back these original pages and we can see what works for you. These are just the easiest way of doing it. So if you don't have a lot of time or if you're a beginner, these are the great way to go. And project 3. So those are all punched out. So we have everything we need for someplace safe. Okay, we have everything that we need for this side. So let's turn these over and take a look. This one ends up going at the top. Flip them over so I can see them. And it doesn't tell you where to put dimensionals, which are the foam double-sided stickers or foam dots. So I will show you those in a minute. So put them wherever you would like. So that's what I'm going to do, is just do my own thing with those. Okay, so I have them all separated. And it looks like I may be wanting, all right, oh, I know, maybe it's on the sticker sheet. Exciting day comes off of the sticker sheet. and that goes up here. Okay, then this is going to end up going under here like this. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to get some liquid glue because it's a little bit more forgiving and I can move this around. So I'm going to put some dots on here. You can use the tape if you would like to. That's completely up to you. So we'll put this under here, kind of center it on your 4x6 picture mat there. That looks perfect. Okay, so we have that. Then we have the, let me see what we've got going on here. We've got this going on. Then we have our Explore sticker over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a close call. Got stuck. And what we're gonna do with this one is I think I'd like to pop this one up. So being very, very careful, I'm gonna turn that over and add some of our Stampin' Dimensionals. So put these on here. And I'm gonna tuck some things into this. That's why I am popping it up, as we call that. And I'm putting 2 in the center and both ends, and then 1 little one there. So we're gonna pull off these released pieces of paper so it will stick. Almost there. 3 more. All right. So this is going to go right in here. And I'm just thinking about something. If we want to add our pictures later, how am I going to do this? What I really only want is the sticky only on the left. So what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to use some embossing powder. If you don't have this, try some baking soda. This just takes the stick off. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stick it on one side. So this side over here is sticky. And what that will enable you to do is add pictures over there when it's time. And then I would go back and put sticky stuff on here to stick that down. But for right now, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put that aside. Project 2. And let's put the lid back on here so we don't have any issues. And but now I'm going to use it. Now the same thing is true over here. So we're going to be putting down a picture. What I'm going to do is on this first one, I'm not going to put it as far in on the picture as it shows on the directions. What I'm going to do is kind of stick it off to the side. And then we can get our picture in when we're ready to do that. And on this one, we're going to go ahead and glue it all the way down. Let's crooked a little. Let's even that out. It's still a little crooked. The joy of a wet glue, a liquid glue, is that you can remove it like that. Okay, then we believe I have a sticker for this other part. which is going to be the same issue as we had with the other one. So what I'm going to do is bring in, this is our embossing powder, which takes the stick off of things or takes the electricity off of things when you're doing some heat embossing. So I'm just going to put that on there, and should have left one side of it okay. So we're going to put that in there. And for right now, I'm only going to attach the right-hand side with some dimensionals. I'm hoping this is going to stick because I just put the powder on all the sides. Wasn't thinking really on that one. So let's do this. And they're wanting it to be right in here. So what's happening is this side is loose. You'll put your picture down, and when your picture is down, then you will make this permanent. And we've got a little starburst we're going to put over here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a Stampin' Dimensional on here too, just to make it the same level as here as the sign is. So let's see if I can remove this for a minute. There we go. I wanted the dimensional to be off of the sticker. Then we're going to come under here in our Explore sign, and this is down in here. Then we have a sticker, it looks like. Let's see, where is it? What does it say? It's shaped. It should be round. It's this one. Okay. And Time to Play is this sticker right here. And what's happening with that one is it is there. Let's see. And we might have one more sticker here. It's a flag one. What they're doing is they're using this right here for a journaling spot. So I'm going to attach that here. And on one side of it only, I'm going to put my powder so it doesn't stick on that side. And now I've got it on all the sides. We're going to flip this over, and I'm only going to put glue here. And we're going to attach this down here. So I need to figure out if this is going to go on my project, on my photos. I'm just going to attach it to this top part, the other banner, and I'll flip this over so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there is that. We've got our Enjoy the View, which is going to go off the picture. So I am okay with that. And I am going to pop this up to make it the level because it's overlapping the Explore sign. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. And then over here, it's calling for this particular sticker right here and a shorter one, which would be the wood grain, I believe. So we'll put this on like around in here. This is a sticker that says "What a View." And it looks like, it's hard to tell in this picture, but it looks like it's a blue pointed arrow. All right, I wish you guys were here. You could help me see this. I don't see it anywhere that there's a blue arrow unless I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's this black one. It's probably this black one. Okay, so we'll put that in there like that. And then there's another rust colored. I'm gonna say that's a wood one, and we're gonna go with it. Okay, so let's put this all together. I'm gonna put some more dimensionals on here. This is going to come on over to the Explore sign. And then we have this piece. And I'm going to tuck this under the Explore sign. And because I've waited too long, because I need part of this to not glue down, the glue it kind of wasn't sticking. Okay, so then we are going to come over like this. And I am only going to attach, let's keep wanting to move. I'm only attaching this left-hand side. So you can get in there and get the picture on there. And this is where your journaling will go, okay? So we're done with page 1. Let me grab a baby wipe. I've got glue all over my hands right now. Get these at Costco. They're the best and the least expensive. All right, so the rest of these pieces that we have out here, oh, there's one piece I didn't put down. And we're gonna do the same thing we did with the others. We're only going to glue it on the left-hand side because we have a picture that we wanna put in here later. So that's only got glue on this left-hand side. All right, so that is page 1 of that. Page 2, let's see, now that we got the hang of this, we're gonna bring this in, remembering that the vertical stripes or the wood grain is going up. I think I have enough stick on here to stick this one down and this one. Let's put the glue back on here, or the lid. All right, use exhibit paper, adhere 1E and 1F to the base page. So this is 1E, and I'm assuming this is going to be 1F. Yes, 1F. And it's telling us on this one that it wants to come in 4 inches from the right-hand side inside. So let's do that. And get my tape runner out. I've just kind of thrown everything over here to the side, so bear with me when I try and find stuff. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to come in at the 8-inch mark. And we're going to even it up like we did the other one from top to bottom. All right. Then this one is going to come over like this. And again, I am going to overlap them, making sure my cut was okay. So we'll glue that up. Tape it up, I should say. And I'm going to follow the line in this paper. Kind of gives me a good clue as to what to do. Okay, so that is down. Then we are going to adhere one E and one F to the base page. One E. This is 3. So obviously it's one of the ones I wrote on. I already did that, didn't I use it? This is on the right side of H. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, this is going to end up going up like this. This one will overlap it like this. And this one is going to come down in here. So we're making sure that all of these are on the plaid paper. And what we're going to want to remember is not to tape like this corner down or here, because we're going to have the photos. So I want to not do this corner. So let's do this. Actually, that one's going to come over the top. So this one we can glue down all over the way. Okay, then this one we are not going to want to tape up here on this side, so they can slip a picture in there. I just want to get a guesstimate of spacing here. Okay, there we go. And this one, we are not going to see, to make sure we're there, we're not going to want to tape this corner. So I'm going to put my finger there so I don't do it. And there we go for that piece, okay? Then we're going to bring in some of our items that we've punched out. So first we've got, I'm going to just place these. We've got this one. We are supposed to have another star, which I don't see, which is like the one we used on the other sheet. It'll probably turn up here somewhere. Right now I don't see it. So we're going to skip that for right now. Then we're going to have a green banner, whatever you like to call them, banner flags over there. Then we have the big brown one is coming in over here. We have one of our stickers. Where is the one sticker? Okay, we're gonna have this sticker right here, over in here, but I don't want to do anything with that right now. The Great Outdoors is coming down in here. And it looks to me like this is going to be a journaling spot. And then we are going to have another sticker, which is this sticker. Okay, so let's let the stickers be over there by themselves for a few minutes. This is a punch out, so I'm going to put just our dimensionals on this side so we can get into our picture spot when we decide what we want to do there. Okay, how are we doing? I want to check in. Everyone okay? Doing okay? Trying to rush these other ones along. All right, let's get back down to this. Okay, so we've only got stickers on the left-hand side. So that'll come over in there. When we find the star, which is here somewhere, we'll put that here. And let's do our flags down here. And they're wanting them tucked underneath. So I'm gonna pull this up just a little, and that's what I like too about the tape, is I can do that. So these are overlapping, so I'm gonna do a little bit of gluing here. So let me make sure I got the right way. We're doing the brown, so the brown is overlaying, so we'll put some on this side. Just a dot of glue is all you need. Let's hold that for a minute. All right, now we're gonna come over here, put a little bit of glue there. I'm going to lift up this picture a little, slide it under there, and make sure it's straight. Make sure my paper stays here. Okay, we've got that. Sorta, it just slipped and slide on me. Slipped and slid, slipped and slide. Okay, so we have that part done. Now, the Great Outdoors, let's put this one in. And first the sticker is going in and it's under the picture, so we're cool there. Let me turn this again. I may have to put down some dots on here. Okay, and then this piece is going to come over like this, and that's also tucked underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my rolling tape for that. And it's just coming over on this sticker just a little. There's that. Then we need an arrow. The arrow is going on top. So it's going about right here. So I'm gonna put dimensionals just on the back end of it. And that way we can pop it up when we need to put our picture. And that's gonna come in like that. And I believe, yep, there's a sticker here that says love. And that's gonna go in here. So that's done. And this one is getting put right here. Actually, there's no gap between this flag and banner and this. So on this one, I think I will pop it up and we're gonna just do them from there on in. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and with this, we'll overlap it just a little, coming down, should be right in there. This would be our journaling piece. I'm gonna put it down there. I will probably do my journaling somewhere else, but I'll go ahead and slip it under there. Again, we've got to be careful so we can get into our picture here like that. So I'm only going to do glue on this part. Straighten it out just a little. So that'll just be an extra pop of color there. And then this is going to come down in here. And we don't need to worry about the picture area because it's coming off the page or off the photo area. Okay. So there is that. And it did have you put twine down under here, but I did not do that, but you can do that if you would like. So what you would do is attach it to the back of the sticker and then do that. I didn't do that, obviously. So we're just missing the one item. So let's put these pages back together. and see what they look like. So there we go. There's project number 1. So I'm going to pull these off of here. I'm going to put those aside. And now we're going to go on to project 2. And this should be a lot quicker because we know what we're doing, right? So project 2, we're going to have 2 different papers on either side. We're first bringing in this color of paper, which should be right there. And the other side, we'll deal with that later, is going to be our trees. But for right now, let's put this aside. And we'll deal with just this one page, okay? So now we need to bring in everything for 2. That goes with 3 again. Okay, so here are all of our items for number 2. These are all of our punch outs, I should say. Okay. Keep number 3 up in there. I have a mess over here on the right side of my desk. So I just want to make sure we have all of, see, there's a 3, a 3. These are all 3s, should be in there. So we have a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2, 2, 2, 2. This is 2, 2, 2, 2. This is 2. Make sure we got them all right, because some of my things got mixed up over here on the side of the desk. Okay, these are all 2. So with this one, which to me looks like it wasn't cut right. Let's go back and look what (2D) was supposed to be. Supposed to be 11 by 12, so it is right, but the picture sure does not show it that way. So is there a typo? 2E. There's a 2F. Okay, this one goes on the right-hand side. And we're supposed to have another piece, which would be well, on the replay, I'm going to take this out. Oh, now I know what we're doing. Okay. Through me. Okay, so 2D, we're coming in with a 4x6. And we're making sure that this is on the dark side. Okay. Adhere photos to 2D, 2G, 2.1, and 2J. So in other words, it's wanting us to do all of the picture matting right now. Okay, so we have 2D. We've got 2D. We have to have 2G, 2G. Okay, we know we've got these. So I have a piece missing, I think, somewhere on my desk. So we're gonna go with this. We'll put these together and we'll figure it out. Okay. So I keep saying that word on camera. I need to stop. So we'll put this here. There I go. I just said it again. That'd be a good drinking game if you are a drinker. No, you're not drinkers, I can tell. Okay. All right, we have our picture holders there. We do have a total of, we have 4 pictures on this side and we have 1 on that side. So we should have a total of 5 pictures. We only have 4. So my question is this one, which is supposed to be 2G. I'm gonna double check myself. Two G is supposed to be 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So maybe that's when I double cut things. So instead of stressing about that, I am going to cut this, I think. And I'm gonna just make sure I'm okay here. So this is supposed to be 3L, it looks like. And then I need 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. We'll use one of our scraps. Cut on the dark side. So we're doing 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And we'll put a picture mat on that. And there we go. Make sure we're on the dark side. I am going to get my tape out. And there we go. That is a done deal. So now we are going to, they want us to cut a piece of linen. Where are they going to use that? On the tag. So we already have that cut. Cut chevron sticker to 11 inches and trim ends. Chevron sticker. Okay, that is this. And it wants us to cut it to 11 inches. So I'm just doing this off of my mat, and I'm cutting right here. I'll do right there is my guesstimate. Okay, so we've got that. And this is the paper here is the basic beige. Then we're doing adhere 2A, 2B, and 2C to the base page. So this one is hard to see, guys. Oh, yeah. This is E, A, B, and C. Okay, so what we're gonna do with these is this acorn paper is going to come in 2.5 inches. So 1, 2, 2.5, it's gonna go right in there. And it looks as if I put the writing on the wrong side. Okay, what I'm gonna do here, because it looks like I wrote the letter on the wrong side. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to use it like this, and then I am going to find something that I can put down here and correct my issue. So we're 1, 2, 2.5, and put that there. So we're going to center it on the page. Then we're going to bring in 2B. And I am not quite sure what the heck happened, guys, because I cut this in the wrong direction too. So I am going to bring in one of my scraps, and I am going to make do. So we've got our trees going the right direction, and I'm going to do some research after I'm done with this and figure out what I've done. This paper is crooked to me, so I'm going to redo this. I'm going to bring in my T-square. So 1, 2, 2.5. Obviously that's not right, so we're going to bring it in here where I like it better. Okay, we're then going to bring in this paper, and I'm going to have it overlap slightly. Then I'm bringing in this piece. And this is supposed to kind of slip under here. So let me get some tape on here. And that should look like that. All right, so let's get our picture holder out. And that is the one with the blue mat. That is gonna go in there like that. And I'm only going to stick my tape in the center section for right now because there are some things going over it. So let's pull in all of our little extras. I think I just dropped something. Okay, so right now we've got we have our little pieces of our piece of wood. We have our chevron arrows, and there's one that is a rust color and there's one that's a lighter. So we're gonna do, actually it's more of a brown, and then this is the orange, so that's gonna go in like that. And this one is going to get stuck under here. So we'll do like that. And this has a hole in it, so this is where we are going to place our string that we've cut. All right, and again, these don't have perfect right now. Then we have a piece coming across the bottom, which should be this one, and it looks like you can put some journaling on there. Then we have two more arrows coming in, which will be right here. And there's one MIA, so for right now, that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna leave it off until we find the other one. Okay, so there is that. Then we have one huge sticker, which is this one, which will come like this. So we're gonna put that aside for right now. And let's do this one, since this one is the bottom layer. And we're gonna punch out that hole that's there. And I'm looking for, let's just use this. And get my twine out that I had cut. And again, like I said, I like to double it up. I might even, this is 4 turns of my linen thread that I'm putting through here. And I don't like to do the bows like on these more masculine, like hiking pages. So I am not going to make it a bow. I am just going to leave it as a knot. So I have wound it up 4 times. I'm gonna stick it through this hole. And then we're gonna, the loop right here, we're gonna pull everything through it. And I'm going to cut it off. Okay. And we're going to put this one under the picture. Okay, so here we go with that. Okay, then we have a arrow that is going off the edge like this. So you have your tie up there. This is going here. Goodness gracious. Trying to get underneath here and I put my tape too close. That's my issue. But we got it now. It's supposed to go over. That would be maybe why. Let's see. I'm gonna bring it in a little from the edge of my gray there. And it looks like really good layering. I like that. So there is that. Then we have to bring in our wood shape, which is right here. And I am going to, let me see, how should I handle this? I'll just do this flat in there. So right in there like that. Isn't that cute, that little piece of wood? And what will happen next is our sticker. But because we've got a picture coming in here, we're gonna, again, have to be conscientious of that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my non-stick, this again, and we are going to do it on this side. that'll take away the stick on that side. And then we'll bring in dimensionals on the other side. I have something that's stuck over here that's not supposed to. Bear with me. All right, put that over there. All right. Take off the stick. And this one should come in just about there. And then we have some chevrons. And we're going to put a little bit darker one here and then another one. And you can overlap these if you want. I'm just gonna put them over on my piece of wood there. And there's that one. And this one. If you guys need to run while we're in this, I understand, because this is a long class. But do your thing if you want to. You can leave or you can stay. I'd love to have you stay. Okay, there's that one. Then we've got the top part is done. So we've got this and we've got this over here. And we have a black stripe piece. I see a black plaid. I do not see a black stripe. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to improvise. We're going to put this down here. I'll just put this off of the page. It's supposed to go over the photo, but oh, credola. There's a Susan word for you. Okay. To bring in my adhesive eraser on there. And what I might do, let's see. I'll kind of just put a little tape on this, but there's supposed to be a black, like striped piece, which I do not see around here. So that'll be tentative for right now. Okay, so there is page number 1 of that side. So page number 2, we are bringing in the beige again on the darker side. So that is this side. Okay. Then we are going to put down our green piece that we cut. And that will go right there. So let's glue that down. Okay, we've got this. Just kind of looking at the comments up here. So we've got that. Then we've got our blue piece. And our blue piece is kind of basically going to be centered on here. It looks to be, let's see which way it will go. Let me bring in my pictures. So we are going to have 1, 2, and then we have one that goes like this and one that goes like this. So I am going to put it in that direction, and they are centered up in here. All right, so let's go ahead and put those down. Okay, I'm just centering this up. Okay, then we're gonna bring in our photos. And let's place that one right in there. Let's see, I need enough space for 2 photos that are portrait style. So we need them to be right in there. Okay. Get this a little closer. Okay. Then we have this one, and we only want a short distance between those 2 photos. There's that. And then we have our picture here, but we have our sticker that needs to run across. So this is the one that stuck to things earlier. Let me pull some of this off. So what's going to happen is this is going to run like that. And it's going to run under these pictures. So I'm going to lift some of this up, praying that it's straight. And it has to go underneath here too. Okay, and then this one will come in like this, okay? And then we have a large title. Which is right here. We're going to use Life is Better Outdoors. Excuse me, my voice just cracked. Okay, so we're going to bring this one in. And just realize this is a little crooked. It's going to bother me. Okay, and then there's that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm putting my non-stick powder on here again to make it not a sticker. And we're going to do some dots over in here. And I'm just going to glue down, I think just the side over here. So you'll need to really think about that when you're putting these down. So this is going to come in like this, okay? And I'm not gluing anything down except over here. And then we're gonna bring in this circle and this circle. And this is where our journaling is going to go. So on this one, I normally type out my journaling, so I may do this slightly differently so I can use this. What I might do is put this under here like this. Let's see how this looks. I think I'm going to do that, so I'm going off script a little here. And because if I run my journaling through my machine, the lines are gonna look funny. So I'm gonna put that aside for myself. Then I am going to, it's got us bringing in some more stickers. So this actually is supposed to go across the top like this. And it's supposed to go under the circle, but I am going to do it like that. There's that. Okay. And we're supposed to have 3 hearts on this piece and also in chevron. It looks like it's a chevron. It might be a flag. Okay. Okay, on this black one, remember not to put tape on the side like I just did, or maybe it's just sticky still. Is all. No, it's just because the powder wasn't there yet. So let's see what I can do with this one. Sorry, I'm going off script a little. It's hard to see. I think this is supposed to be a chevron over here, but it's very hard to tell in the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a very little tiny bit of tape or a glue there and hook it down like that so you can still get your picture in here, hopefully. All right, then we have project 2. We have a adventure sticker we're supposed to have. I'm over here taking these off. So we're supposed to have an adventure one. We're supposed to have a hike, which is right here. This is one of our punch outs. And then we're supposed to have another one of those arrow things, which are not on here. Okay, so this will come in here like this. And this is going to come over the top of the arrow there. So again, we've got the same kind of thing we're going to do because we're bringing in our pictures. So 1, 2, 3. So we'll put that one right there. And we've got our adventure sticker, and we're only going to be able to do it sticky on one side. So that one will go up in here. So that still allows us access to get our picture in, and then when you do that, you can then glue everything down. And I think I've got everything that we're supposed to do on here. I did, oh, this is supposed to come under, pardon me guys. This is where you would put the date. So that is going under there, and I am just going to glue this down. There is that. And this is supposed to be project 2, and I may have missed this. So let me look back over here. I do not see that anywhere. So again, maybe they've mislabeled it. Maybe it's me. So we'll hang that over here and see if I can find the home for that. So what we have now, I'm just going to bring this in really quickly. This is what it looks like for those 2 pages. That's cute. Okay, so that's what we have there. And we'll put those aside and we'll do our last ones. So I'm gonna pull out this again. I can do this one. And we're on our last project. Okay, project 3, we are going to bring in, on the left-hand page, we're bringing in our brown, dark brown wood paper, which is this one. And I'm gonna bring in my glue dots one more time. In the box that keeps getting beat up in my drawer. There's 2 there, let's put that aside. Do not like when they slip all over the place. Okay, there's that. That should help a lot. Okay. So use the exclusive adhere 3K to the base page. I'm just collecting all my pieces here because again, they got kind of mixed up over there. Bear with me, guys. All right, I think I have my pieces. So this one, will get down just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that piece. Put the glue top on. Okay, on these corner pieces, you may want to put some glue. It's hard to get the tape up in there. So on our corners, we'll just do a little dab will do ya. There's that. We want to make sure our feet prints are going towards the top. Just wanting to make sure we're real straight before I put this down, okay? Then we're going to adhere 3L and 3M. All right, my 3L is going to come in like this. Our 3L this attached to here. And another photo placeholder. Okay, that comes in like that. 3 in, 3 O. So we need to attach these. So 3L should come up just like this corner to there. So let's take that up. Okay, or like that. Then we have this piece, and we have our 3x4 piece. This piece is, they're overlapping each other. So what I need to do first is bring this one in, and we'll have it right there. Okay. This one overlaps slightly, so we're just going to put tape on this left side right now. There you go. Okay, now let's pull out, those are our photos, those are our base pieces. Let's bring in all of the items that we need to attach. Okay. This comes in and it actually goes underneath this picture. This is off of our sticker sheet. This will just come under here, it almost goes all the way to the side. It just tucks under that piece. Okay, there is that. Then we have a journaling piece. We have a weekend sticker. I'm in this tray where I'd put my projects when I punched them out. So Weekend Escape is going to come down in here, and that'll go on our second page. Looks like this is coming down in here. This will come up in here. This is not here. Okay, so this one will be here, and then we're going to have a sticker down in there, and we're going to have a flag, which looks to be this orange one. We're going to put our acorn sticker in there, and this is going to actually come in under like that. Now, because again that I like to type out my journaling, I will not be adhering this piece, just personal choice, and you can do the same. It's your baby, so do what you want, right? So I'm still missing a couple pieces down in here. Let me find them. I found that star we were missing. got in the wrong pile. Okay, so I'll go back and put that down. I'm supposed to have 3 pieces here. Okay, here's our blue one. And there should be the trees. Okay, there we go. All right, so there is that. Okay, so we have all the pieces. I'm missing one that says explore, and that's right here. So we're gonna go ahead and start attaching that. And this is what I'm not going to be putting in there. So we'll do that. We'll hold that one off to the side. Let's start putting this all together. So this one they call for, oh, I'm missing one black stripe. Found it. Okay, so this one goes up underneath like this. Let me put some tape down in there. This one comes under like this. And this one will come up in here. So I am going to put that on dimensionals. I may lower it a little to get off of the pictures. So I'm just gonna put the dimensionals right here for right now. Can't wait to go back and do the editing on this, you guys. I am just not good on lives. I think practice makes perfect though, so I will be trying later. I'll just keep trying, right? Okay, so we have this sheet, and then the blue hooks underneath. So let's do this part. Then we're going to take our rust and we're going to do that up in here. And this little tree will hook under our blue. So that's going to come in like that. Okay, now I need to do these, and I can only put dimensionals on this side because the other side has to hook. We'll put that like that. I'm gonna put that up in there. Cute. I like all the thought they put into these kits. It really is a great way of learning scrapbooking. Okay, I think I may have waited too long to put the glue on earlier, the lid on. Okay, it is what it is for right now. I'm gonna put that away and we're going to use my tape just so I don't hold you up any longer. Okay, so make sure we have all of the pieces. The only thing that's not on here is the journaling spot, and that's just my choice, so I can use this how I want when I go to put down my pictures. And we're supposed to have an arch up here, which I'd seen somewhere, which is right here. And we're supposed to have a tab also. So this tab is going right in here. And again, I'm gonna have to tape this. I'm over on this side taping. Just like that. And this is going over the top like this. But again, because we have the picture, I am just going to put a little bit of, oh, I can't even do that right now, guys. All right, give me a minute. I gotta get this working again. I'm just doing the little bit of glue on the as it comes pouring out. I'm going to take off some of this. I'm just gluing this to the top, and that way we can slip a photo underneath there. Okay, and that wipe comes in handy. So we have all the pieces with the exception of that journaling square that's on there. And so we have one more page to go. Okay, there's that. And we'll flip the page. I did the right page instead of left page, but there's still no big deal. So we're gonna pull out the brown piece of paper again, the other brown that I had. Okay, here we go with this. Just position that down. And adhere photos to 3J, 3N, and 3O. We already did that, so now we're on this one. We are going to put in our last photo holder, space saver, whatever you would like to call that. Okay, so there is that one. Okay. 3A should be this one, I'm thinking. Okay, this is that really strange piece that we cut. So we're going to come in like that. Okay. Then we are going to, it says, now we've got all the little pieces to attach. There's going to be pieces going across here. So we are going to go, this is 3F, 3P, 3C, 3D, 3G. Do I have others? I do. So, three B. Okay, 3M. I'm just looking for all the right pieces here. There's a lot of little pieces that go. And okay, I'm missing 3B. It's not any of these because they're numbered. I'm over on the side of my desk looking through my scraps. I think I found it. 3E. Still missing a 3B. all else fails, go back to your scraps, right? So I can't find one piece, so I am cutting that again. And I'm gonna lay these out because this could get kind of interesting. So we do this piece, then we do this piece. I'm gonna put these off to the side. Then we do a striped piece. Okay. This one looks like it needs to be trimmed a hair. I guess it's okay. All right. Okay, then we do a blue piece. Blue. And I should not have glued this down first, just FYI. Okay, then we have a green, and let's do green in here. This one, then we come in with a stripe, and that's coming in like that. Maybe these need to be scooted just a little bit more. All right, then we're doing a green one again. This is supposed to come to the center here of this one. So this really needs to be scooted over. Okay, so still not right. Okay. This is gonna take some finagling. If you refer back to the picture in your kit, you'll see that this is supposed to line up halfway through the orange, but you also don't want it hanging off the side where we're gonna cut this off, so you want it to look like it's hanging off the side, if that makes sense. I'm hoping it does. Now again, I don't know how this happened, but I've cut the tree in the wrong direction. So I need to go back to the drawing board and cut this 1 inch by 3 inches. Okay. So that's coming in like that. And then we have another blue one, or we should have a blue one. So the blue is over the blue, which is interesting. Okay, so there's that. And then we're supposed to have another tree. And we're supposed to have a blue. And it looks like I wrote on the wrong side, so we may have to correct that. And then we have an orange. And then we had a stripe. And here, we're supposed to only have 3 rows. And somehow I'm ending up with a lot of extra space. So these need to come down considerably. Can you hear my stomach on camera? It's growling at me. Okay, what do I have to do to get these to come off the bottom? Okay, I'm kind of doing my own thing here. I know, dangerous, huh? So what could I use another one of here that I have paper for? I could do another blue one. Let's see what I have over there for scraps. All right, I'm gonna put that one down in here. And this one had my writing on it. So I'm gonna put that in there and that in there. So I'm doing my own thing on this. Are we surprised? No. So I'm gonna line it up like that and we'll see what I come up with. So, I think I am, no, let me use the glue on this so I can arrange it how I need to arrange it. We're going to, once we get these on here, like I said, I should not have attached this piece until we got this part figured out. So my bad. I think I've just run out of glue on that, so I'm gonna have to start taping. Trying to make sure my spacing is correct and that my angle is correct. Okay, so this one, the way they have it, is supposed to come in to like center of the orange, but I've got to scoot it down just to make sure that I have any beige hanging off at the end. So I'm going to go as close as I can. Okay. So right there as far as I can go, and I think that works out perfect. So now we'll do this one. I think we're good there. Again, you want your trees facing up, and where my cuts went wrong, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go back and look and pay attention to that and see what I did incorrectly. All right, let's lift this up and do some hair cutting. Okay, flip this over, cut these off. So my question on this is, should I put another one like right here? And I think I should. So I am going to tape that up just so they all match. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and cut that off. And it's sticking to my scissors there. All right, so we have that part down. And this little guy is going to come in, and I think we're going to, my pad is not sticking right now. This looks to be tucked under here a little. It's hard to tell by what they're showing here on the directions. So the other thing is, maybe I'll just lay it like that. I think that's what I'll do. And we're only going to tape the upper section of this. So we're going to lay that in like that. And then this, which was one of the punch outs, is going to come in like this. And I'm going to put it up on dimensionals, but I'm only going to do dimensional here, here, and then one at the bottom so we can slip in the picture. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hope you create, well, I create, make a mess. It's like my husband says I cook like that too. But then I'm someone that has to have the clutter put away right away. That's just me. I've always been like that. But it's just amazing that I make this big of a mess. Okay. This goes right in here. So I still can slip my picture in there. So let's pull out all the bits and pieces. Okay, we have treasured spot. It will be in here. Nature walk. I'm not sure where that one goes. We're supposed to have a stripe over here. Family time is going up on the picture. So maybe I'll just stick it over here since we need to put down our picture. This heart is going over here. Now there's supposed to be journaling underneath. Like, let me show you in this. Let me see if there's a sticker available. This I'm going to put in there. This is supposed to be used, this sticker, for the journaling. I am not going to use that for journaling, but what I might do is I might use that for a photo, and I'll just print a photo that's that size. So we will use that. So I can attach that, sort of. I can attach the right side. So let's take the stick off of that. And do I want to put that on a dimensional? Yes. So I am running out of dimensionals. Lord knows I have a drawer full over to my left though. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to come in like that. This little heart I'm going to hook underneath here. this little guy is supposed to go here, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think, because I want to put the picture there. So I'll just put him up in there in the corner. There we go. And a couple more things. There's supposed to be a tab here. I'm looking for it. All right, it's this one right here. This one, I'll print out something, or I may write this one, I'm not sure. It gets tucked underneath here. So I'm just letting the blue hang out there on the top. Camping Life. This sticker. Okay, let's start arranging these. So, Treasured Spot should come in like that. And then this stripe comes under. See if I can pick that up a little. Okay, that one comes in like that. Camping Life. Again, I have to take off some of the sticky. And let's put this up on some dimensionals, which I'm going to pull from my drawer. I think I put them on the wrong side. Let's go this side. Having to be careful where the photo goes again. And Treasured Spot is supposed to come under here like this. And I want it scooted over just a bit. So I'm gonna put a little, if I can get some glue out of here. Oh good, there's just enough. Lots of layering. Okay, so there is that. I think, oh, I've got to put this one down. And again, we're with dimensionals. And I'm not doing it the way they're saying to do it because I need to be able to put my pictures down. So I'm just taking dimensionals and putting them on the right-hand side. And I'm going to put it over, let's see, how far can I go? Like this. And I'll finish that off once I get my pictures in there. And there's one sticker I still need to put here. It's not a sticker, it's actually a punch out. And put a little bit more glue in there. And put that down like that. Okay, so my picture is, or I'm gonna put another picture here. And if I have any journaling to do, I can put it in here and frame it. So anyways, there is that. And I think that does it for our class. And I am going to go off screen and go edit all my oopses. And that way I will bring this back to you in a recording. I will make a link down below of everything that we mentioned in class that's not part of this kit. And I think that does it. Please leave me any questions, any concerns. Just stop by and say hi and leave that down below. Let me go back to my live here. So thanks for joining me today. It means a great deal. Hopefully you can get your hands on this kit. If you live in my area, we have a class coming here at the end of the month where we'll be putting this all together again. In that class, everyone will have this project to work on. So anyways, there you go. And thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.